to have you with us tonight. I know Peter is. We haven't done this in quite a few weeks, as we've had the holidays and everything like that. And I know what we want to do. We want to wait a few minutes here and make sure everybody's able to get on and welcome you here this evening.
Happy New Year to everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here, new commitments, new stuff. Hope everybody had an unbelievable Christmas. Hope everybody had a chance to visit with the ones they love. Wives, husbands, kids, grandparents. That's what it's for.
Mm-hmm.
Time to recharge, and great time for us to be here in a couple minutes talking about the topic, which is so relevant. Gosh, Julie, you all went to Louisiana, right?
Yeah. I went to New Orleans, went and seen some family. Probably had about 12 Christmas parties at my house between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So as much as that's my favorite time of the year, I'm actually kind of glad it's over with a little bit.
Yeah, I hear that. I think this is the first year that all three of my kids did not get all presents. They actually got like all practical stuff, like stuff that they could use in their everyday life. So that was really, really cool. I remember the last time that ever happened was I used to like clean my garage once a month at our house. And as the kids got older, what started happening is, you use most of the stuff you throw out as their stuff. And I remember probably about, the youngest one is 16 now, just about. I remember about 5 years ago or 4 years ago, whenever that was I cleaned the garage and I realized there are no more toys left. It's like that's it. It was a garage that had zero toys. And that's kind of how I felt this Christmas. Like the kids got all this practical, stuff for school, Amazon college, clothes. And then I was looking around, I was like, my gosh, Santa Claus is realizing these kids are no longer kids. So that was a big milestone for me this Christmas.
Yeah, I know it's so weird when they start growing up and you're getting them things like that. Like my son, our oldest son, Jacob, is going to college to be a mechanic, an airplane mechanic. Yeah. So he literally got airplane mechanic tools for Christmas, and I sort of felt bad. I was like, "Hey, sorry you got tools for Christmas," but he was excited to get them.
Hey, and I want to brag on one of more of your kids, your daughter Taylor. She was like 3 or 4 days ago. She was literally in our office working. I mean, that to me is so freaking cool to see that. She did great. Mm-hmm. And she was actually calling, this is maybe before we launched into our topic, she was actually calling on the people that we're going to be seeing on January 19th and 20th. So for those of you all that have not yet made a commitment, we're going to be talking about commitments tonight, by the way. But for those of you all that have not made that commitment to come visit us on 19th and 20th of January, you all need to do that. It is going to be incredible 48 hours. You can learn more about it at coachingbypeter.com /live. Maybe Rafa could put that link somewhere. But it's going to be 48 hours, whirlwind knowledge, education, mentorship, coaching, fellowship. We'll party that night. I mean, you all are going to be like, multiply one of these Tuesday nights we do, multiply it like times 1,000, and then do it for 48 hours straight. And that's how it's going to be. Julie and I were in a meeting today where she and I were just kind of going over what we're going to be doing, guys. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to be there. Julie's going to be there. Mary's going to be there. Laura's going to be there. David's going to be there. Rafa's going to be there. I mean, all these people that you kind of hear their names all the time and how instrumental they are to Julie and myself in terms of doing. I mean, it's like, it's like watching Disney movies and then going to Disneyland and meeting the characters. You're like, oh, wow, they're actually there. And that's it, guys. So for those of y'all that have not made the commitment, you all just need to register. It's if you're one of our coaching clients for Julie and I, you all know who those of you are. It's free of charge. We're picking up your expenses that weekend to be here. If you are not one of our coaching clients. It's just a $500 fee to get in. You know, for some reason you don't think we blow your expectation out the water, we'll give you that back. But it's going to be awesome. So
yeah. And I would like to welcome, you know, some of you guys that are on tonight. I know many of you. So welcome, Albert. And I love that you guys are telling me exactly where you're from. That's awesome. Albert, Bridget, Dean, Dennis, Darren, Don Shade, Elena, Eric, Greg Gold, John Belden, Marzia, Michael, Robert, Steve, Terry, William. And there's one of, and I work with a lot of people on deals, but I do want to give a shout out to somebody that's on tonight, Don Shade. Don started, you know, in our program. How long has it been? Maybe 5 weeks ago.
Yep.
And over the last couple days, he's put 2 houses under contract. So we're going to be wholesaling one of them and flipping the other one. And I'm so excited about that.
And along those lines, another shout out to Tony and Susan from Texas. We just actually closed our first partner-driven deal with them out of Texas, and we got 2 more in the works that they're working on. Well, actually, one of them is already under contract to be sold. The other one should be done with the rehab next week, and that'll go out. So, and you know what, guys? This is why we do these Tuesday night seminars. You know, we really have two reasons we want to do them for. Number one, we want to give back. We want to give back to the community. We want to give back to the real estate industry, because we too got here by standing on the shoulders of many other people, especially myself when I started doing this 20-some years ago. So back to you guys. And we want to give as much pertinent, as much valuable information as possible. Because you know what, some of y'all, and I get it, some of y'all want to go at it yourselves. You know, I totally understand that. And we want to be there as a contributing factor to you wanting to do everything yourself. And you know, we want you to utilize our knowledge that we impart here on Tuesdays to you all. We want you all to learn from us, and we want you to be really successful. We have absolutely full upside in seeing anyone being not successful in this business. So that's one reason we do this. We want you all to learn from this. But the second reason we do this is that some of y'all kind of at the point in this business, whether you're just getting started or you may have been doing this for a while, you're kind of like, gosh, this is not really, you know, Pete tells us on Tuesday night, you know, it's green, and then I show up at the house and it's yellow, and Julie says make an offer here, but then the seller's like, I won't take that. Some of you are realizing, like, there's a lot of disparity in this business between, like, learning it and actually doing it, right? And so some of y'all are kind of coming to a conclusion that it would be good to be able to literally partner with someone more successful than yourselves. And that's the second reason why we do these Tuesday night webinars, because that's what we do. We partner with people. We partner with people literally all over the United States, and we do deals with them. That's exactly what we do. We do it from our end for one very simple reason. We want to do more deals. You know, for 20-some years, I've been kind of a lone wolf in this business. First, literally a lone wolf, and then developed a very dynamic team that Julie now runs and operates of people that actually work on staff. But still, for years, we operated as lone wolves. It's like, find deal, do deal, find deal, do it again. And so that model worked very well for us. But some time ago, we decided, like, how do we get to the next level? How do we actually do more deals than we ourselves can find? Because, you know, if you're a lone wolf in anything you do, you're always going to be limited to some extent. You're going to be limited by your knowledge, your expertise. You're going to be in real estate. You're going to be limited by geography. Like, we dominated certain markets, but we weren't very active in other markets. So as lone wolves, we did fine, but we wanted to know, how do we do fine? How do we find more deals? Like, how do we find a deal in Ludlow, Texas, like, for instance? Or how do we do in Chicago? Or, you know, how do we do a deal in Kentucky? How do we do a deal in Lakewood, Ohio? And by the way, these are just some of the places right now that we're doing deals with.
I mean, I know I'm heading to McCalla. Is it McCalla or McCalla, Alabama, right outside of Birmingham. this weekend with one of our partners, Michael Vines. And it's really hard for me to name all the people that we're doing deals with, Peter, because it's just, I could just go on and on and on about the instances and all of these deals, you know, that we're doing. And, you know, obviously I'm excited to be doing deals and making money, but nothing pleases me more than to see somebody new in this business complete their first deal. I mean, it's like a game changer.
It is absolutely awesome. Isn't that amazing? Like sometimes we get more pleasure just to see what happens to the people we're partnering with. You know, I mean, we could tell you stories upon stories where people like literally they do their first deal with us, or maybe they've been out of the business and they haven't done deals anymore, and all of a sudden they're doing deals successful and currently are successful. You know, they're looking to the next level, and that's what we do. In our partner-driven coaching program, we partner with people literally all over the United States, and we do deals together. And that's the second reason why we do these Tuesday night webinars, is because we want to do more deals and we want more partners. And when you become a partner of ours, you literally become a partner of ours all the way through the process.
For a lifetime.
Well, that's right. I wasn't even thinking about that, but that's exactly right. Actually, if Rafa was on right now, that's why he'd be raising his hands and like, because he actually kind of figured that out. Like a month or two ago, he like called me one night. It's like, dude, you know, you realize like when you guys are partnering with people, it's a lifetime commitment. I go, yeah. He goes, well, dude, there's no one else that does this stuff. Everybody does, like, you know, you could do this for a week with us. You could do this for a month. You could do it for a year, and then got to start over again and pay money to start over again. He's like, dude, we're not doing that. So yeah, you do this for a lifetime. But it's really a true partnership all the way across the board. When you partner with us in our partnership program, we actually help you market in your local marketplaces. We've done 3,500 deals collectively. We know how to market. We feel like better than anyone else. And we literally help you, and we deploy marketing right in there by doing a lot of research for you and searching and all this. You then use all my money to buy the property, use all my money to fix the property. My team helps us fix it together. Then we sell it and split the profit 50-50. And that right is partner-driven coaching program is all about. So we're going to give you a chance to apply to be one of our partners tonight. For those of y'all that are like, well, that sounds really cool, I want to do that. All you have to do is sometime today, go to our website, www.coachingbypeter.com. There you can read more and learn more about how we partner with people, see a bunch of partners across the United States, because we try to put up as many videos as we possibly can, and learn more about it. Or you could even call me directly at 404-915-9685. But anyway, we'll hit that again later on today. But now we want to get into the topic of the night. And what more relevant topic can you have on, January 8th, really the beginning of the year? What more relevant topic can you have than what we're going to talk to you guys about today? And that is what do you do when you're kind of in this stage of the calendar? Because let's face it, I don't care if it's real estate, if working out, if it's a relationship commitment. I mean, this is when people make commitments. I mean, it's just, we kind of, as people, we're gauged to work around calendars. Like, everybody goes into shutdown mode around December time. Why? Well, because everybody else does it. So we kind of do it. We don't even know why we do it. A lot of people just slow down. July 4th, what happens? Everybody starts partying. Why? Because on July 4th, that's what we've gotten to know for. Well, in the beginning of the year, it's like a launching pad. I mean, this is like the time to really like zero in on what you want to accomplish, set some goals, figure out how you're going to execute those goals, hopefully document some things, like make some commitments. Matter of fact, gosh, Julie and I did that Friday night or whenever. When were you here?
Yeah, it was Friday. I came down and we went to the restaurant across from your house.
Yep. And we set, like we evaluated last year, and we said, okay, based upon what we saw happening last year in our models, this is what we have going into this year. And right now we have a pretty clear outline plan on where we need to be focused in on. Then we met with members of our team, our people that work with us, and we got them to understand what the vision is going into this year, B, into it, and C, we gave them some very actionable steps. Like yesterday, we had a meeting about a part of our business with a handful of our employees, and each one of those employees was given a brand new actionable step that none of them were doing before. But we feel like those actionable steps that they're going to be doing are going to result in great things happening corporately, but also great things happening for them personally. So that's what tonight's all about. Have you really, have you thought this thing through yourself, like what this year needs to look like for you? Like, have you thought with the next 12 months? Some of y'all, what I'm realizing, some people, they don't even know how to think this stuff through because they don't know kind of, what are the gauging points? Like, how do you figure out what you want to do? Some of y'all are kind of like, you're stuck. You don't even know how to begin to put a plan together. Some of y'all are at the point in this business that maybe you're so frustrated, you're just, you've done it all, you've tried it all, you feel like you've experimented with it all, and you're like, gosh, Pete, I don't even know how to put together a plan. I don't know what to do. Everything that I do seems to be not working, and so, Julie, why don't you talk a little bit about how, I know you said that. How does somebody go about, gauging what the next 12 months need to look like from your standpoint?
Well, first, I feel like if you want to get in this business, you need to really decide if you are willing to put the effort in that it takes to be successful. That's number one. Because let me tell you something about this business. This business is not easy. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. If you want to be successful, there is a lot of hard work that goes into. But let me tell you something about this hard work. Let's say you do a lot of hard work in some jobs and some things in life, and the reward is good. Okay, you put in a lot of work, the reward is good. In this business, when you put in a lot of hard work, the reward is great. It's exponential. So first, you need to decide how many deals you want to do. Maybe you just want to learn this year. Maybe you wanted to do that, but you also need to break down how much time you're willing to put into this business each and every day. Let me give you an example. So one thing I truly believe in is driving for dollars. I mean, any of you know me, know I talk to you about it all the time. You've got to be willing to make the cold calls to set the appointment so that you go to the appointment so that you can get things under contract. So if my goal is, and that's the marketing strategy I'm going to use, if my goal is to close 10 deals this year, well, then you need to develop a plan on how you're going to find these properties. What times of the day are you going to make these cold calls? How many appointments to go on? You cannot just arbitrarily say, I want to be a successful real estate investor without some sort of plan. This business is very simple. See deal, market to the deal, go to an appointment, and then work on your exit strategy. It is really that simple. The problem with a lot of you is you're not willing to do what is necessary to become successful. And let's talk about why that is, okay? And I'll tell you what it is. It's fear. Basic and utter fear. If you can get anything from me from tonight's phone call or tonight's webinar, or just by knowing me, please, please, please take fear out of your life. So many of you have a hard time doing this basic task. Dial a number, call. I want you to know that if you don't do these things, you're not going to be successful. And you've got to realize what's the worst that can happen to you. Somebody, please tell me. Can somebody come hurt you? Can they hurt your kids? Can they do this? No, the worst thing they're going to do is tell you no and hang up the phone on you. You've got to get past fear when setting your goals. And if you're worried about whether this business is worth doing or not, watch some of my past videos about how this business changed my life. And you know what everybody always says, if I can do it, you can do it. I legitimately mean that. I mean, I did not go to college, you know. I entered this business whenever I had nothing. I had nothing to lose. I had nothing. And I made it work, and I made it happen. And a lot of you out there that are in this business, you're going to make a decision to quit. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're going to make the decision to quit. A lot of times when you're making that decision to quit, that's whenever you're the absolute closest to being successful. Okay. So I encourage you to just keep going, just keep working it. And if you're going to set a goal, then by golly, you need to work on it. And don't just say you want to be successful and you want to be a real estate investor without being willing to put the work in. This work is necessary. It's necessary for you to be successful. Now, if you work with me, I can tell you, I'm going to be talking to you about why haven't you done these things? Why are you not making your calls? Why are you not sending letters? People find it very crazy when I say, okay, look, when you're driving for $1, your leads, and handwrite the addresses on the envelopes. Excuse me? You want me to handwrite envelopes? Oh yeah, I want you to handwrite envelopes, because you've got to do what others aren't willing to do. You're not going to have longevity in this business looking for deals on MLS. I know a lot of investors out there have algorithms and ways to be that, but I promise you, if you learn the art of dealing with sellers directly, none at all, because then you can do anything you want. You can wholesale the deal. You can buy, fix, and sell the deal. You can buy it and keep it as a rental. If you don't learn that art, then you're not going to be at the top of your game. And I promise you, it is worth your time. It is worth your effort. Who out there is afraid? Anybody? I mean, there's quite a few of you on there tonight. What's your fears whenever you're setting your goals? What's your fears in getting you to the next step? I mean, please, please, please tell me, because look, we all have the same fears. I promise you. You know, I used to be afraid of negotiating deals on the spot because I was embarrassed to throw out lowball numbers, because I didn't, you know, I'm really a people person, and I don't like confrontation, and I also don't like upsetting somebody. So I used to, you know, my biggest fear used to be negotiating with somebody on the spot, because I didn't want to hurt their feelings by giving them a lowball offer. Well, guess what? I'm not afraid of that anymore. Do you know what made me not afraid of that anymore? Doing it over and over and over and over again. Now I'm not afraid, and now it doesn't hurt my feelings to do that. Wouldn't you agree, Peter?
Yeah, there's really no question. You know, one thing I've noticed, you know, especially when it comes to goal setting and, like you said, the things that people do want to do and things they don't want to do. You know, if you're doing this business, then it's probably safe to say that you're already doing things you don't want to do. I mean, who wants to do this business if you're already making somewhere else and you already got all the time in the world? No. The reason you're doing this business is because whatever you're doing, you're not overly happy with. You might not be overly happy with how much money you're making, how much time you're spending, what the future looks like, how your family is looking at you, and all this. So the reality is, never look at this business from a perspective of, do I want to do it? You're already doing things on a daily basis that you don't want to do. But the reason you're doing those things is because you're getting some kind of result. Now, granted, it's not what you want to get, but you're getting a result. And so because you're so focused on that result, you never really question doing it. You don't question waking up at 6 in the morning. You know, you don't question that at 12 o'clock you should eat lunch, whether you're hungry or not. You know, you don't question that you only get 2 weeks off, you know, just a year. the result is so important to you, you know, the ability to pay your mortgage, the ability to pay your rent, the ability to put food on the table, the ability to give to your church, the ability to provide for your kids. Those are so important to you that you're not focused on the things you're doing that aren't really getting you what you want. Well, when it comes to this business and doing the things that it requires, for some reason, people are focusing on the result and they're focusing on the task. You know, I never had anyone call me and say, Pete, I'm making so much money in this business. I hate it. I'm going to quit. It never happens.
I've never heard anybody.
No, it doesn't happen. And so what happens is that it's a mind game you're going through. You're forgetting the results. You're forgetting, like, we all know why we got into it. You know, we all get into it for basically the same reasons. We want more money, we want more time. You know, we're a combination thereof. And then as you start going through the daily tasks of this business and you're quite not getting the money, you're not quite getting the time, you forget those things and you're focused on the day-to-day tasks and the grind, the activity pretty much overwhelms you and you quit. And what do you quit to? Think about this. Like when people quit this business, I'm always like, and, you know, people call me and, you know, like, oh, I'm out. I'm done. I'm like, well, what are you going to do? Well, I'm just going to keep on doing what I was doing. Well, just do that. You know, it's like, it makes no sense. You're quitting one thing that you don't want to do for another thing you don't want to do. Except the thing you're quitting can get you what you want. And the things you're going back to, we've already agreed on ahead of time, will never get you what you want. You know, so logically, this doesn't make sense. But I get it. Listen, I've been there, done that. You know, I tell people I quit 100 times when I got started in this business, just in the first year alone. So this is one thing I've learned, that A, set the goals, but B, set them in such a way that you can see some accomplishments along the way. So here's what I mean by that. Too many times people look at accomplishments in this business as money. That's your gauge. That's it. There's no other, you know, doing a deal, making money. Those are like the two things that everybody bases their activity on. And I will tell you, in real estate, that's a wrong way to do it. Absolutely wrong way to do it. I mean, talk to a guy that just spent, you know, 7 figures buying a McDonald's. Talk to him like 5 months into the process and make fun of him for not making money. He'll laugh you out of the store. You know, this is a guy that like spent 7 figures into McDonald's. He's working in his own store with the same employees that are making 10, 15 bucks an hour, and he's making nothing. And what do you think the chances of him quitting? Like 0. Why? Because he understands he's in it for the results. Okay? He's in it for the results, and he made a commitment financially. So one of the biggest problems in this business is that it's easy to get in, easy to get out, easy to get in, easy to get out. And so, like I was saying, you almost have to kind of mind trick yourself into this whole thing. Set some measurable results. Again, not monetary results, but measurable results. For instance, you know, a win is if a seller calls you today. That should be a win for you. You know, like chalk it up. Winning, you know, a win may be negotiating with a seller and getting the seller to get you, to allow you to go see their property. That's a win. And so if you go to bed every night and you have check marks, I won, I won, I won, I won. And what happens over a period of time, your mind gets used to evaluating not based upon future results. Your mind gets being based upon real life current results. And as you start winning at a small level, like, wow, 2 sellers called me today, or I went on 2 appointments today, or I put a property under contract today, or I found a buyer for one of my sale deals today, or real estate agent, one of my real estate agents, you know, submitted 5 offers from me today. See, those should be wins. By the way, guys, they are wins. Those are absolute 100% wins. But what happens is what you're doing is you're just buying yourself time. Because really that's all you need in this business is you need to hang around long enough to happen. It's not a question of whether, it's a question of when. And so by tricking yourself, okay, into just, okay, wow, 2 wins today, 5 wins today, 10 wins today, wow, cumulatively 50 wins over this week, you're not going to want to get out of the winning mode, okay? Because we as individuals, we like of winning. I mean, not very many people quit when they're winning. Matter of fact, even if you look at some of the greatest athletes, or just look at athletes, professional athletes, how many of them retire at the peak of their game? The ones that do, like the whole world hears about it. It's so unusual. People don't retire. People don't quit when they're winning. It's not our human nature. Almost everybody quits when they're losing. So you have to literally trick yourself into and I don't know if trick's a good way, but you have to manipulate your mind into a winning mode. One of the best comparisons I hear about this is Tony Robbins talks about, the problem with so many people is their expectations are so high and they never can achieve them. So what he does is his expectations are actually fairly low. Like if I wake up and I'm not 10 feet above, below the ground, that's a good day. See? So when those are your expectations, you're going to meet that every day that you're still alive, right? And so as you're meeting that and you're putting yourself in a winning mode, you're buying yourself time, you're doing more activity, you're winning more, you're buying more time, you're doing activity, you're winning more, you're buying more time, and then the wins get bigger and bigger. Then all of a sudden that 1 or 2 seller calls a day turns into 5 or 6 seller calls a day. That, 1 appointment a day to go see a seller turns into 3 or 4 appointments a day to go see a seller. That then all of a sudden you go from having on your board, wow, I'm working on 2 deals. All of a sudden you're looking at your board and you're like, wow, I'm working on 20 deals. And then instead of having every once in a while a deal at a closing attorney, all of a sudden now you have 4 or 5 deals at the closing attorney. And you see how everything just resonates. It just flows. And what happens starts here, but what happens when deals start happening? And then you bought yourself enough time to realize, wow, I'm actually winning in my kind of perspective where I started from, because actually now I am doing deals and I am making money. Look back at yourself and you're like, and I see this all. I went through this. I look back a couple of years after I started making money in this business, and I realized I just stuck around long enough. That's all it was. I didn't do anything special. I lost a ton of money. I made a ton of mistakes. I was frustrated to no end. I kept on, making disastrous moves, but I stuck around long enough. And that was it. That was like people said, well, what was the trick? What was the game? What would I don't know. I lost so much money. I was too afraid to quit. I was too embarrassed to quit in front of my wife. I don't know what it was. Just all those combinations. But the ultimate is up around long enough. So when you're setting your goals, guys, in the beginning of the year, set them in a measurable format. Set them in such a way that you could be winning. Every day you should have a win. Every day there should be something positive that happens to you in the business. And remember, it's not making money and it's not doing deals. Those are really byproducts. Like at the level Julie and I are at, because we've had enough momentum in this business, that is how we set our goals. We do set our goals based upon, we want to, more deals. But we have years and years of momentum. We have employees. We have traction. We have credibility. And that'll happen with you in time too. So then you can focus on that final, when you're at the peak of the game, like Tom Brady. Tom Brady does not set goals based upon how many games he's going to win that season. Tom Brady only has one thing to set. Am I going to win the Super Bowl? If Tom Brady, if a rookie quarterback gets in an NFL league and wins 7 games his first year or 10 games, that's winning. Tom Brady wins 10 games and doesn't win the Super Bowl, everybody thinks he should be out. See, so as you get better at something, your measurement or your calibration of what you're doing will be set at those levels, okay? But in the beginning, they need to be set at the very front level. How many calls you're making, how many calls are coming in, how many offers you're making, and all this. I'll tell you the trick that I learned many, many years ago as it relates to this is I learned to schedule my goals into a calendar, okay? So here's what happens a lot of times. Like you have a goal of maybe putting out 10 bandit signs. And then what happens is like they're sitting in your kitchen and then a week later they're still sitting in your kitchen. And it's like, well, why are they sitting in your kitchen? And you have this 20 reasons why they're still sitting there. Well, I had to work overtime. My kid had a baseball game. My wife wanted me to clean the garage. We had friends over on Friday night. Okay, I got it. But you got all those things done. Again, it's a measurement of priority. So, and I understand this business many times is just not the top priority. Okay, I get it. So how you create priority for this business or how you create action steps, schedule them in your calendar. Like every day, I work off a calendar. And this calendar pretty much tells me what I got. Like I don't have to think tomorrow. All I got to do is click over to tomorrow and see it's laid out a series of things that I'm going to be doing. And when they're scheduled in here, they're going to get done. Okay. So if like at 10 in the morning, somebody calls me and they want to go play tennis, I'm going to look at my calendar and I say, gosh, yeah, I want to play tennis, but I'm sorry, I got an appointment. So the way to really achieve your goals is you schedule them in. Schedule them in. So don't just say conceptual goal. Well, I'm going to make 50 calls every week. Okay, how are you going to do it? Well, I'm just going to figure it out. No, not good enough. How are you going to do it? Well, I'm just going to block, I'm going to set some time. No. How are you going to do it? You're going to put it in your calendar that to make 50 calls may take you, 4 hours. Okay, so that means you have to allocate 4 hours on your planner when we're going to do that. And when they kind of go, then when they're written down and they're scheduled, they're a lot easier to do. And then that becomes the priority, not whatever else happens. Mm-hmm. So I got started in this business, literally every day my priority was to set two appointments with sellers a day. That was it. That was like my numero uno priority. But to do that, I knew I needed to make not a certain amount of calls, but I had to spend a certain amount of time on the phone. And usually that was about 2 hours a day. I knew if I would cold call sellers every day for 2 hours, I would usually be able to set 2 appointments with potential sellers that would be at least somewhat interested in selling the house. So back then on my calendar, every morning at 8 o'clock, guess what showed up? 8:30, At 8:30 morning, I didn't even think twice about it. I was calling. And usually by 10:30, I would have my 2 appointments set. And I knew that if I was to do that, that would create enough traction in my business to get deals on the board, get deals sold or flipped, whatever the heck I was doing back then with them, and make money. But lay out what you want to do. Lay out kind of what you think it's going to take to get there. And look, that's not a science. And people say, well, gosh, I wonder if I got to make like 45 calls or 48 calls a day to achieve my goal. And then, they ponder upon that and they think about that and they strategize through that. Who cares? Nobody knows. I don't know if you got to make 40 calls a day or 20 calls a day. Some of it comes into, your skill set, what kind of properties you're calling on, and all that kind of stuff. Okay? So it's okay to be approximate. It's okay. You know, your goal could be every day, I will set 1 to 2 appointments a day. Okay? And what'll happen, time will reveal if your numbers are correct. Like, let's supposed to set 1 appointment a day. And let's say you've done this for 60 days, and that has yielded you, okay, well, then you know that if you do X amount of work for X amount of time, you're going to get X amount of results. And then what do? You make adjustments. Like today, I spent some time with Rafa, and we looked at some of our numbers and what we're doing in terms of our social media. And it's like, okay, don't have to be rocket scientists. Let's triple up on what we're doing, because time has revealed the answer. We didn't have to like guess at it. We just looked at our past stats. We looked at our past results, like money in, money out, very simple. You need money in, you need money out, and you need a time frame. You know, you can't just do it like one day, I got to figure it out. No, you probably need, you know, a decent amount of time, a month or two, depending, you know, what you're trying to measure and the quantity coming in. And then it's very easy to make adjustments. You know, and that's kind of even how Julie and I set our goals for this year. We looked at the last 12 months and we're like, okay, it is very obvious this is where the revenue point is. Obvious this is not where a revenue point is. So more of this, and let's cut this out. And that's it. And then we just schedule things accordingly. Very simple. So anything I'm overlooking, Julie?
No, I just want to address a few messages. Okay, Peter?
Yep.
So I'll let Peter address one and I'll address one. So someone said not having enough time while keeping my current job. Let me answer that for you. Your current job probably 8 to 10 hours a day. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. Wake up earlier. Wake up earlier in the morning. If you can't get what you have done today, wake up earlier. Okay. Another thing, stop watching TV. I know I'm saying these things and they are cruel. If you truly, truly, truly want to be successful, you want to get out of your full-time job, and this is what you want to do, you've got to sacrifice, okay? Sacrifice everything that does not help you, okay? Sleep until 9 o'clock in the morning doesn't help you. Maybe you need to just get up an hour or two earlier, okay? Watching TV is a waste of time. Facebook, probably a waste of time, even though we all love it. You've got to do exactly like what Peter said and schedule time in your life. You're going to say, well, whenever I get home from work, I can't make my calls because of my wife and my kids. Let me tell you, if you're doing this to be successful for your wife and your kids, you don't have time not to. Okay? They're going to be more proud of you years from now whenever you're successful, and you can go on trips every other weekend, and you can go anywhere you want and take them with you. You know, or maybe your wife can stay at home and watch the kids, or maybe, you know, vice versa. So you've got to put the effort in sometime or another. It isn't going to just come to you, right? Anything in life worth having is going to be hard. And it's going to be real hard, and you're going to have to give up things, okay? And some of you say, well, I don't have money to, you know, do marketing or send letters, you know, buy this or buy that. Guess what? Stop eating out. Go to Goodwill to buy your clothes. Make different decisions to get you there. There's I don't know of any situation of anybody that I know that can't make changes in their life to make their life better. You're gonna have this hard work sometime or another, but stop sitting back with excuses. And really don't take that the wrong way, Eric, because I mean I've totally been there. I've been there. These are just some of the things that will help you, but do whatever you've got to do to be successful and take the time out, you know. And if I have a suggestion, all of you guys should schedule at least 2 hours of phone calls a day. I really, really, really believe in that, you know, and I set myself a goal of 2 hours. And if I don't get an appointment up at 2 hours, I don't stop until I get it or get what I'm looking for. So, you know, hopefully, you know, that wasn't too harsh to tell you that, but we've got to put the time and the effort in somewhere, and it's going to be in the beginning. You know, it's not as hard for me to find deals now. Deals come to me. I get messages on Facebook. I get email letters because I've been putting time over the years of making calls and going to appointments. So a lot of it is it's like we've talked about before in the past. It's like a garden. I've you know, we've already planted, you know, did our plants. Everything's growing up, and now it's time to harvest. Well, when it comes to growing a garden, getting your field ready, getting the nutrients stabilized, getting your plants ready to go, that's the hardest part. The easy part's picking your tomatoes. The hardest part's getting them going. So you're going to have to put that in somewhere. Another thing, Peter, you know, person said, you know, maybe fear of not knowing what to do or say. I mean, how would you respond to that?
Well, look, I don't care who you are or what you're doing. At a point in time, you're always going to be a rookie. I don't care if you're Michael Jordan. At one point, he was a rookie. Or I don't care if you're whatever. Everybody's a rookie at some point. So don't let the fact that you don't know it all prevent you from doing things. You know, I'll tell you, this is a true measure of success right here. You take somebody who's very successful, and that very successful person could take about 25% of information about something, and based upon that 25%, make a decision. You take someone who's not successful, and they can have 99.99999% of the information, and they still won't take action because they feel like, well, I don't know it all. So a true measure of success is being able to know something or have just enough information, and you use that information and move forward. And see what happens when you do that over a period of time, you naturally get better. Right? When you don't know quite how to talk to sellers, but you start making seller calls, you get better. And then all of a sudden you don't know how to talk to realtors, but because you were able to take just part of knowing how to talk to sellers and do it, you then only know 20% of know how to talk to realtors, but you got more confidence. It's like, well, I did it with sellers. I know I could do it with realtors. Okay. And the other thing that happens, you just get better earlier on in the game. When you start acting upon just having a little bit of information, and that becomes the way you do things, over a period of time, you'll be really good by just knowing a little bit. So all this to say, just do it. You know enough. You really know enough. This is not rocket science. We're not operating on brains here. Okay, you can make a call and ask if somebody wants to sell a property, and if they say yes, you can ask how much they want for it. There you go. That's a starting point. And the conversation, if you do that, and you do that like 50 times with the seller, over a period of time, you're going to realize, okay, there's a pattern here. They're like, they keep on saying the same thing over and over. So then you're going to just, you know what I mean? You're going to make adjustments. So just do it. Don't overthink it.
You know, and one thing, you know, I've learned or I've heard in life that I know to be true, indecision is worse than a bad decision. So making a decision to do something, even if it's wrong, is better than not making a decision at all. You know, one thing about me is I can make a decision like that very, very quickly because I learned this early on. But guess what? I make bad decisions all the time. Just ask Peter. You know what I mean? I just do, but I'm okay. But I'm not afraid to make a wrong decision because I'm not afraid to take action. And really, once I learned in life, just taking action is 90% of it. Lord have mercy. That really changed my life because now when I want to do something, I do is take action. It's okay if I'm not the best. because I'm going to get better. I know I'm going to get better. So really, I encourage all of you to, set your goals, and more than that, please just take action. Go to the next step, learn as much as you can, because you can go on webinars, you can Google things to death. You're not really going to learn until you get out there and do it. You're going to have opinions about phone calls, but until you've made hundreds of them, you're not going to be good at them. So if you cannot be the best, just do more of it. Okay. So that's going to help your odds a lot. One thing is I'm okay to say, okay, I'm maybe not the best at this, but you know what? I'm going to do it so much that just because I'm not the best, I'm going to be able to counteract that with just the amount of time I'm spending doing it. And then over time, you just get better and better and better and better. So, that's really what I have for you tonight. I hope we have some encouraging words for you. And I truly, from the bottom of my heart, hope that you take this year and your goal setting very, very seriously. I want you to be successful, and there is no time like the present. You can change your life. You can change your family's life. You can be the pillar that everybody in your life looks up to, but all you've got to do is take action.
That's it. That's exactly right. So guys, look, all this to say, we want to do more deals and we want more partners across the United States. So if you want to learn how to find incredible deals, actually use our resources to help you find deals right in your own marketplace. Use all my money to buy the deals. Use all my money to fix the deals. Then it helps you and I fix it, and then we sell it, and we split the profits 50-50. Then you need to be part of our partner-driven coaching program, because that's exactly what we do with partners everywhere across the United States. And like I said earlier, to learn more about how you can do that, either go to our website at www.coachingbypeter.com, or you can go call me directly at area code 404-915-9685. And just to finish off, I think what Julie just said summarizes it all. Just do something. Do something. Don't even overthink this goal setting. If you guys notice, we didn't really talk about goal setting today. We talked about action. Just do something. Okay. Some people over goal set. They're planners. They're always planning, and they never get anything done. So make a little plan. Make a 3-day plan, but go execute it and go do something. And let's go do some more deals together. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Have a good night. So I'm going to go ahead and stay on, because as I was fixing to get off, I noticed a couple comments. And Robert, I'm just going to say this out loud. I've been in the business as a contractor for 4 years, flipping homes for other investors and working construction. Last October, I was injured and have not been worked since. And I don't know the meaning of the word quit. Oh, it sounds like in that business you don't. I know this because this business can be good, and I will make it work one way or the other. I've not been able to work since October, and I drive for dollars and look at homes to put under contract. I've been trying to get something under contract for the last 2 years, not succeeded, but I'm still not going to quit. I know where you're going here, and you should not quit. You should not quit. But I think your key there is going to be working on your follow-up system and continuing to make the calls, continuing to write letters. So if you're taking the actions to do the driving for dollars, the same effort that it took to do that, what you should really, really do is spend more time cultivating your leads and setting appointments. I think you're going to get a lot more effort that way. That's my goal for there. If you're doing the $99 a month plan and the self-learning course, do you still get help in financing from Peter? Yes, it is possible. If you have a deal under contract, we will work with you on that deal to see if it's something that fits our criteria. You can use our Facebook page to ask any questions, but whenever you're with us in our one-on-one coaching program, you're able to talk to Peter and I directly and kind of go over scenarios. But we're glad that you're in our Vexman Method community. That's what our Facebook page is for, so that we're there to help you. I hope we've answered all your questions tonight, and wish everyone the best. And for you, Mr. Smith, that put that down, just keep going. Just keep going. Everything's going to be okay. You're going to get there really soon, and I guarantee you are that close to your first deal.